Instances of cheating in Call of Duty, particularly in ranked play across both multiplayer and Warzone, are frustrating and severely impact the experience of our community. Really? I'm gonna switch to console now. If Ricochet anti-cheat is still dog shit, I'm just gonna switch to console. Reduce the penalty when sprint to fire jumping. Increase the speed of the parachute cut animation. I love all of this, bro. This all sounds incredible, man. Here I am getting excited about it, and until they deliver, none of it matters. So, folks, after weeks upon weeks of no answers, I know it was the holidays, but still, the holidays have been over for a while now. Weeks and weeks of server issues, cheating being worse than it's ever been since peak Verdansk, and a multitude, false shadow bans, multitude of other issues. That's aside from all the bugs and the game issues. Call of Duty has finally made a statement after weeks of not responding to any of the outrage that they've been hearing from their community. Let's take a look at at this tweet here. Call of Duty community update, January 2025. Ahead of the season 2 update, updates on Ricochet, anti-cheat, Warzone, multiplayer, and zombies. So ahead of season 2's launch in Black Ops 6 and Call of Duty Warzone on January 28th, we're here to address the comprehensive feedback we've been hearing from our community in recent weeks and tell you what we're doing right now to improve the game. Members from the various development teams and studios dedicated to specific systems, modes, and functions across the Call of Duty franchise have provided insights below into how we're prioritizing what matters to our players today. Cheating and bans. Ability to disable crossplay on consoles in ranked play. That's a big one. Server issues. Big one. Obviously, cheating and bans is a big one too. Quality of life updates. Requested bug fixes. Let's get right into it. So now they're going to talk about all this. This is already all the shit that we've been wanting for years now. This isn't like, it's crazy it's heading into this point. Let's see what they got to say though, because this should have been something, this should have never been like not a thing. I feel like everybody that competes would just buy a PS5. I'm going to switch to console now. If Ricochet anti-cheat is still dog shit, I'm just going to switch to console, because why would I ever want to deal with cheaters? I could just go to console, and where there's probably 99% less cheaters. Anyway, let's read this. That's a big W. Wow. An update from the Ricochet anti-cheat team. Instances of cheating in Call of Duty, particularly in ranked play across both multiplayer and Warzone, are frustrating and severely impact the experience of our community. Really? We're here to tell you what's being done about it today and our plan for the support throughout 2025. I have to preface with one thing before we read into all of this that we're about to read into. There's a lot here about all of these issues and these fixes. Bottom line is this. Call of Duty talks a lot. They love to talk, bro. They love to talk. And they love to never back up that talk. Example after example after example. I'll give you one of the biggest examples of all time. We could give you a list, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll give you a very big one though. Going on a multi-year developing cycle instead of just pumping out CODs every year. They said they were going to go on maybe like a 2 to 3 year cycle, something like that, or just more than a year, right? Scrap that idea instantly, bro. We're just still right back to one COD every year, which I think is a core reason for a lot of the issues that Call of Duty usually deals with year to year. Because what happens is they release a game every year. They have to make a whole new game. It's still, yeah, it's the same style game, but it's still a whole new engine, whole new system, whatever. To balance all these guns, they have to do all these things, and they have to do it in a short amount of time. And instead of giving themselves a few years, I understand they have multiple studios that work on different games every year, but still, instead of just giving themselves a couple years with each game, like letting one Call of Duty live for like 2 years and then make a new COD. And then Warzone should be just its own thing. Like stop updating, well, keep updating the game, but just in a different universe. Warzone should just be separate from multiplayer, in my strong opinion. But they're probably never going to do that because they can utilize Warzone as a content piece for multiplayer. Because if you level up your guns in multiplayer, you can then, which you have to buy that game, you can then go play Warzone and have all your stuff leveled up early. So they'll probably never change that. But anyway, let's get into this real quick. All I was going to say, though, is that they like to yap. They like to yap. So everything we're about to read right now, this all looks enticing and is great, but they have said many things over the years, and none of this is going to matter if they don't actually implement it, bro. Verdansk could literally be the best. Verdansk was an incredible experience. Like, it won't feel like playing it for the first time because you can never go back to that day. You know what I'm saying? You can never do that. We're about to play something that is recycled, I guess, content, if you want to call it. Well, because that's what it is. But Verdansk was an incredible experience, and I think it could be an incredible experience again. Only if all of the shit they're talking about right here actually starts, like, we actually start to see it. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just yapping about it, like, let the action speak louder than words type shit. It'd be great to see because, wow. I could really see the game. I could really see Verdansk being a W. It's going to be the biggest L of all time, though, if they don't fix all this shit by then. They've got, like, 80 fucking days to do it, though. Like, if they can't figure it out then, they might as well just hang it up, bro. Like, I don't know. Anyway, an update from the Ricochet anti-cheat team. Instances of cheating in Call of Duty, particularly in ranked play across the board. I already read all this shit, didn't I? Yes. We're here to tell you what's being done about it today and our plan to support throughout 2025. Live now are new layers of security and protections against cheaters in Call of Duty, as well as updates to protect the competitive integrity of the game. Updated detection models for behavioral systems such as aimbotting and okay, all of these words, none of it matters because there's still so many cheaters in your games. All I'd love for their statement to say is, hey, we now have a reduction in 90+% of cheating in the game, just like every other top level AAA game like Valorant, all these other games. They have cheaters, but they don't have cheaters on the level of COD. So I'd like them to just say a statement like that. Oh yeah, by the way, cheating is now almost impossible to do in our games. People can still do it. They'll always be able to do it. It'll never be 100% perfect, but it's to a point where, like, you're running into a cheater every blue moon. Like, on games on, like, Fortnite and stuff, you run into cheaters once every blue moon, bro. That's the statement I'd like to see. All this yap about, like, updated... This is the type of, like, statement they always make. Updated detection models for behavioral... Holy... Updated detection models for behavioral systems such as aimbotting and other data points, including account trust and hardware identifiers to target serial cheaters. Over 136, this bullshit they always say. Over 136,000 ranked play accounts banned since the mode launched. That literally, that statement, every time they put it in there, never makes a difference, bro. It never makes a difference. 136,000 ranked play bans, 136,000 ranked play new accounts created. Enhancing cross-examination tools focused on reducing the time it takes to action accounts. New detection and warning systems for spam reporting by accounts. New detection and warning system to repeat playing with cheaters' behavior. You've seen the community questions about the detection methods like IP-based banning. We do not utilize IP-based bans for anti-cheat because they tend to take action against entire groups within a range that aren't problematic. For example, a college campus or internet cafe would be swept up in an IP-based ban wave when only a single machine was targeted. That is a tough one for them to do. That would be a tough one for them to do. But why don't we just make it a kernel? Isn't Ricochet supposed to be? Don't they advertise it as a kernel level anti-cheat? Which I know nothing about anti-cheat. I don't know. I'm not a software engineer. I don't know about any of this shit. But to my very low amount of knowledge on this, I think the difference between like an anti-cheat, regular anti-cheat, and a kernel level anti-cheat is the kernel level one has more access to your PC, meaning they have more information about and can track if you are cheating more or less. Like if you don't have a kernel level one, they don't have as much access, therefore they can't see as much. Is that not the case? Like, don't they advertise it as that, but then like we don't actually have that? Because I've heard them on multiple occasions say they don't want to have that much. They're scared to tell their community that they want more access to their computers so that they can have a better anti-cheat. They're scared to do that. I've heard them say that, so I don't know. In December, we announced that we're implementing major upgrades to the currently online and active kernel, okay, and there it is, level driver for Season 2, as well as upgrades to the server-side systems in early 2025. Here's more on what to expect from these updates and when they're set to be added. Here we go. Season 2, new and improved client and server-side detections and systems. Major kernel level driver update. Again, both of these things aren't going to matter at all because they've said shit like this before, and until it actually happens, I will not believe it. Improvements to driver security. Reinforced encryption process, new tampering detection systems. Season 3 and beyond. A multitude of new tech, including a brand new system. They always got a brand new system, bro, to authenticate legit players and target cheaters. All right. As we get closer to Season 3, we'll dive a little deeper on these systems. However, it is important that we don't provide too many details that can give cheat developers a peek behind the curtain. We're not slowing down in our mission to shut down cheaters whose only mission is to ruin the fun for everyone else, and we're confident that the combination of updates above, as well as an ongoing improvements to our detection systems and Activision's continued legal actions against illegal cheat sellers, will provide a demonstrably, I don't know how to say that fucking word. I'm an idiot. Healthier gameplay experience going forward. Server stability, packet loss, and lobby crashing. This is another one of the biggest things going on in this game right now. Something that Nadeshot spoke about in his video talking about the state of the game, when he gave that analogy of like a house, you know, like a nice house that like it looks good on the outside, you know, one of these new modern homes. It looks good on the outside, but as soon as you live in it for a few months, you start seeing the problems. The toilet doesn't work right. The piping is all bad. The plumbing is all bad. The drywall's dog shit. Like just all that is what Call of Duty is, and that's what playing COD is. That's kind of what Nade was saying, and it's a perfect example. Something else that he added to that was the fact that he's been playing COD, and I've been doing the same. He's been doing it professionally a lot longer, but I've been playing COD since I was a kid. He's been playing COD since COD 4 as well. And back then, I mean, back in 2007, 2008. I mean, you take what you can get with a online gaming server. I mean, dude, those are the early days of console online gaming. Okay, it's more understandable. We are now in 2025. There are other games and other examples, tons of them, that have god tier servers, bro. 100+ tick rate servers in games like Valorant, where and if you guys don't know what that means, it's basically has to do with like Peeker's Advantage and all these kinds of things, right? Like it's basically like, think about it. You're playing online. So like what you're doing here in your chair, moving buttons, mashing buttons, doing whatever, that has to be sent to a server, pinged back to the fucking other player. Then that has to ping back to constantly pinging back to these servers to make sure everything lines up. And the higher tick servers, I think this is just like a 101, you know, for dummies. Again, I don't know much about this stuff, but I know a little bit from what I've been told by people that I feel like do know what they're talking about. I'm pretty sure that is what the general gist of, like, you know, the ping, like the server stability and all that kind of shit is. What am I fucking trying to say right now? Or sorry, the tick servers. It goes back and forth. Having that higher tick server is gonna, like in a game like Valorant, if someone comes around a corner and peeks a corner, boom, the moment you see them and they see you, if the tick servers are higher, it's gonna be a lot more responsive, a lot quicker. So you're gonna have less of these moments of like, oh man, I was around the wall, or I was behind cover and I still got shot. Well, it's because on their screen they still see you. On your screen, you are around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's general. I think that's the general idea of it. But anyway, to Nate's point, like he made a point that like the servers feel like they did back in those COD 4 days on COD still, and it feels like they've just never decided to put any love into their servers. So we just still play in like 2007 as far as like the servers and stuff. Graphics and everything else has kind of gone up to 2025 to some degree, but servers and a lot of other things are just still stuck in the past. So let's see what they have to say about this, and if they're actually, you know, what they're going to do about it. We've seen community reports of increased rubber banding, packet loss notifications, and server disconnects in recent weeks, especially in ranked play, and in certain regions where some players may not have access to as many servers as others. No, this is happening everywhere, bro. This is happening in North America. So this is happening in North America. So your biggest player base. We have been monitoring match activity closely, including identifying suspicious accounts that appear in multiple crash lobbies. Demonware has narrowed down some specific causes. Sorry, the team at Demonware, I guess this is like their team, has narrowed down some specific causes of these issues that can affect all players. The new improvements have been made to Call of Duty server infrastructure this week to reduce targeted cases of malicious activities on our infrastructure and players. While this is an industry-wide issue, we remain committed to combating individuals and organizations who intend to ruin the gameplay experience for others. With these new improvements now in place for both Black Ops 6 and Warzone, we've already seen improvements in stability on the back end. While this isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, for every potential issue with the online experience, we're confident in the results we've already seen in practice. I don't know what their experience looked like. What are they talking in the last fucking 24 hours? Like, have you guys already seen a difference? Like, what? All right. Since they've announced this, what? 10 minutes ago? 20 minutes ago? In addition to these improvements, the team has also solved some specific server issues in regions that have recently experienced disability and will continue to act quickly to resolve any of these issues that reoccur. As always, the Call of Duty teams will continue to keep a close eye on the performance and make adjustments as necessary to deliver the best possible player experience. Okay, an update from the disruptive behavior team on voice moderation. What is this? The in-game chat moderation system, bro. How many of you have been chat banned for literally not saying anything vulgar, anything toxic, anything at all, and you've literally had legitimate just cheaters in your game, or like different people talking full on blatant most vulgar shit you could think of, and just they can do whatever they want. Like, bro, so their systems are not working right. I feel like they have AI systems. I don't know if they say that. I mean, they do have AI systems for like shadow banning and for this shit. It's just like, it's like, oh, we feel like our AI system probably picks up that, and then they ban the people for voice chat stuff, when it's like, brother, since the initial rollout in 2023, Call of Duty's in-game voice chat moderation system has been an essential tool in reducing our players' exposure to hate speech, harassment, and derogatory language in voice comms. That's all great. That's all great. But your AI system's also banning people that aren't even saying anything, bro. Like, they're not even... It's just crazy. It's crazy. Players should have the freedom to trash talk, and we're constantly working with our teams to make sure moderation is solely targeting conversations that veer into derogatory territory. Anyway, there's just more shit about that. Stay tuned. We're locking in on it. Okay. Incoming Warzone updates. Let's talk about Season 2 for Call of Duty Warzone. We made the decision to prioritize focus on gameplay tuning, adding more quality of life, and addressing ongoing bugs. Great. This means that in order to deliver meaningful improvements to our players, new content originally planned for Season 2 has been shifted to create bandwidth to address foundational issues. Now, this is obviously a good thing. Like, obviously... that is a good thing. They need to be all hands on deck and fixing their game. That's like obvious. But the player base, I'm not going to sit here and just fucking be a victim about the whole thing, but like the player base should not be dealing with this to begin with. Like a polished game, like I've been given this example many times, and I'll give it again right now. Marvel Rivals is a polished game. They put the game out. It has minimal bugs and balancing changes because they worked on the game so long and polished the game for so long, beta tests, all this stuff for so long, that they made a god tier game. So when they roll out the game, they're not spending all of their time pushing back seasons and fucking like doing all this different stuff because they have to focus on fixing their game. They get to focus on pushing out brand new content all the time, which retains players and makes their game just grow. It's a beautiful thing to see. Warzone hasn't had that since its inception. I'm telling you, bro. Like, there's always been ongoing issues. Warzone has been in a beta state, alpha state, whatever the fuck state, for ever, bro. It's just every game. It just seems like there are now a whole new boatload of issues. Again, I think that has to go into a deeper, multifaceted issue, which I told you about, which is just making new games and pumping them out every single year. But we're not going to go into that again. This means that in order to deliver a meaningful... Yeah, they're going to push it back. These improvements won't come all at once. Rather, they'll be staggered across the season, and with quite a few quality of life changes coming mid-season. Our priority is having the most solid foundation that Battle Royale can offer, and are excited for players to see it all live. Key gameplay and quality of life adjustments. Warzone is constantly evolving game, bringing new experiences through yearly integrations of weapons, mechanics, maps, and more. While this approach keeps things fresh, it also comes with its share of challenges. Finally, they're addressing this, bro. Please tell me they're about to change this. Please tell me about to change this for the rest of... Make Warzone its own entity. Make it its own thing. Stop updating it with... like combining the CODs together and doing that every year. Just make it its own thing, bro. And still update it, obviously, but in its own space. Like, that's what they need to be doing. That's what they should have never made Warzone 2, Warzone 3. It should have just been Warzone. While this approach keeps things fresh, it also comes with its share of challenges. Regular changes come with the risk of shifting the game away from what some players may consider their sweet spot, altering mechanics and features that once defined the game for them. Altering mechanics and features that once define the game for them. The ongoing challenge lies in finding the right balance between innovation while preserving the core DNA that makes the game uniquely Warzone. On that note, we're introducing a number of gameplay adjustments in Season 2 and beyond that we hope players are going to be happy to see. So, yeah, I thought they maybe would make a little announcement there, but they probably won't do that until... If they ever do it, it probably won't be until like a new COD's coming out and they're like, hey... we're going to switch up how we do this with Warzone. Anyway, weapons. Reload speeds are faster from all weapons, anywhere from 5 to 20%, depending on the class. So they're speeding up the game. I love this. This is good already. W. when sprint to fire jumping from 35% to 10%, and increase jump ADS speeds by 25%. The intent is to find that middle ground of being able to pull off jump shots without it being the meta movement strategy. So reduce the penalty when sprint to fire jumping. Okay, because yeah, you basically can't jump chow in this game. At least in Warzone. I mean, I don't know how they... it's more just like slide chows, you know what I mean? And increase jump ADS speeds by 25%. Okay. Adjusted bullet penetration across most materials, resulting in a more consistent experience for thicker walls in particular. Weapon swap speeds increased by 10%, effectively replicating the effect of quick grip gloves, the quick grip gloves perk for Modern Warfare. Okay. Okay, nice. Removed burst and semi-auto rifles and low rarity pistols from ground loot, allowing for more confidence in knowing how your weapons will fire when you pick it up. Beautiful. Those guns are all dog shit. They should never be on the ground. If you want to go build a class with them, great. They are dog shit. Beautiful. Make it more consistent. Movement. Increased both jump speed and successive jump height with one unmodified successive jump. Okay. We're going to have to see what that looks like. Increase the speed of the parachute cut animation, which is how it used to be. It's so much clunkier now, making cutting a parachute and readying your weapon significantly faster. Very nice. I love all of this, bro. This is all sounds incredible, man. It all sounds great, but here I am getting excited about it, and until they deliver, none of it matters. Increased player velocity when landing from a cut parachute, land for smoother transition into full sprinting. Okay, nice. This one right here, bro. Reducing the reverb effects to improve directionality of movement audio produced by other players' footsteps, ascenders, parachutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take yourselves back to, what was it, a couple years ago when they were announcing, I think this was maybe Cold War, or maybe it was one of the more recent CODs. I know it was one of the CODs over the last few years in Warzone's lifespan. There is literally a trailer where they are talking about their new audio systems and how it's like reverb and how that is the issue. The reverb. That is what makes the game. That is what they've implemented just a couple years back, and audio's been rough for a while, but it's been worse over the last couple years. It's only gotten worse, and like versus what it was in Verdansk, for instance. It probably wasn't like perfect then either, but it's not nearly as bad as it is now. Since then, they've added this reverb thing. They've done that, and now they're saying that they're reducing the reverb effects to improve directionality. I hope it's a reduction to the point where you can finally hear footsteps. I play Marvel Rivals. It's not even a game where you need to hear if you're getting flanked or not. So yeah, it is definitely necessary if you're getting flanked by a Black Panther or some shit. But bro, in a game like Warzone, it is literally such a core necessity that people kind of feel, I feel like you almost just forget about it now because we've been dealing with such bad audio for so long that like, sometimes you hear people, sometimes you don't. It's such a 50-50 coin toss. And even if you do hear them, they're probably not where you think they are. Like, it's been bad for so long. So, I don't know. Reducing reverb effects to improve directionality of movement audio produced by other players' footsteps, ascenders, and parachutes. Hopefully, this effect actually makes a massive difference. But it's so funny to see like that new content that they wanted to, that they were so excited and used in their, hyping up of the game trailers and all that kind of stuff. Just a few years back, ended up being such a terrible addition to their game. Trying to like reinvent the wheel with audio. Well, not reinvent it. I guess they're always trying to like slightly, increase it and make it better as technology and stuff gets better. But like, bro, they dropped the ball on that one. Perks: combat scout pings replaced with an outline that is not visible through walls. I like this. I would have preferred for it to just stay. I don't know why they're switching it to an outline. I'd prefer it to stay as a ping that when they're around walls or like out of your line of sight goes away. But I think they have to do that maybe because if it's an outline, yeah, it'd be tough to maybe do with a ping when you go around a wall. I don't know. This is probably going to be better. I think this is going to play better. I mean, it's definitely going to play better. The fact that you can't see combat scouted ping above somebody's head and just track them. You're still gonna be able to track them through smokes and stuff, though. I don't know. Combat scout just shouldn't be a thing. I mean, chat. I don't know why in the they think it's a good thing. Pinging is good. People sometimes get me mistaken when I'm saying this, like pinging and giving more information, like even a live ping, like a, hey, enemies over here in this area, like pinging a building or building whatever. That's perfect. That's fine. Pinging a player and it tracking that player. They've already turned it off in ranked play, which is great. Okay, when you ping somebody, it just pings them for a second and it goes away. That's how it should always be. That's how it should always be. I wish they would just step away completely from Combat Scout, but whatever. Add a new default perks. Holy thank you. Holy shit. Dexterity. The weapon component has been increased in its effectiveness, just like in multiplayer, and made default for all Warzone players. Thank God. The game's just going to feel better. It's just going to feel better. Shooting and everything's going to feel better. As mentioned above, we've replicated the effect of quick grip gloves and fast reload via weapon adjustments. Wow, beautiful. Okay. Mountaineer returns as a perk 1 slot, replacing dexterity. We've increased the fall damage reduction substantially from what it currently is. Mountaineer returns as a perk 1 slot, replacing dexterity. We've increased the fall damage reduction substantially from what it is currently in live with dexterity, though not quite the powerhouse it was during Modern Warfare 3. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it not being as strong, but get it back to the point where I could jump off of a 1-story building. You guys remember how like you could jump off of what made Mountaineer really good is not because it could save you. It was kind of OP. The fact that you could jump out of some towers and not die when you hit the ground is crazy. What it was really good for, and people really don't, unless you're paying attention, you really don't understand this or get this. You just put the perk on and you don't realize what it's actually doing for you. But every time you jump from like a 1-story building and your player gets that like little fatigue, in-game fatigue, where like you can't sprint for a second, and sometimes it takes a little sliver of your health, just a little bit. That's what it usually does. If you can jump off those 1-story buildings and not get that fatigue and not lose that little sliver of health, which also in some instances, let's say you're getting shot at and you're low and you're trying to heal up, when you jump off that building, if you hit your legs and break your legs and you lose that sliver, that resets that time of healing your health up. So like, bro, it's just extremely annoying to deal with. That was what was really good about Mountaineer. I'm very happy to see it returning. These are all, bro, these are all great changes. I hate what they set up here about how they're going to be like drip feeding us this shit. They're not going to just put it all out at once. Brother, please just fucking put it all in one up. Like this will solve a million different issues. You still got a lot of shit to figure out, but this will fix it. I mean, obviously all the stuff up here that they talked about anti-cheat and everything else, we have to see it to believe it. But this, for the core gameplay side of things, it will make things very nice. Veteran now significantly reduces damage ticks of gas grenades. Just the damage ticks? Equipment and kill streaks. Munition satchel now only provides 1 additional item, down from 2, to address overstocking and spamming equipment. I like that. Maximum deployed tacticals and lethals reduced to 2 each, down from 3, to make more purposeful trap plays. Gas grenade radius, duration, and movement penalties reduced to bring in line with the vision of a zoning tactical and less of a lethal crutch. Great. Spy camera's outline effect no longer renders through walls. Advanced UAVs will now show elevation arrows. Oh, that's pretty nice as well. Miscellaneous. Body shield functionality limited. No longer automatically releases players in free fall. No longer provides an outline of victims, teammates through walls. Removed manual release of players, keeping them alive. Must end with an execution. Bug fixes. This list better be a million things, bro. There's... Aiden just made a video the other day talking about all the bugs in the game. Almost a damn near perfect list. There's probably so many things that is missed, but that's just because there's so many bugs in the game that you barely can keep track of them all. From not being able to spectate the people you die to in-game bugs where people are being able to go into the map and go into walls, and rezzing doesn't work correctly, and sometimes you hit your loadout like I did yesterday or the other day and you're just stuck and you can't move. Bro, there are endless amounts of bugs. Like there's sometimes a bug where you can't even res your teammates. How many of you guys ever gotten that one where you literally just can't res? You just can't. I've had another bug where I get out of the water sometimes. I come out of the water with my pistol that you have in the water and you can no longer plate and you can no longer use your actual guns and shoot your guns. You just have a pistol in your hands. You got to run around and you can't. Like, bro, so many bugs. Game-breaking bugs. Let's see if they've addressed any of these ones. Regarding live issues, we know how frustrating it is to see them linger for or go unaddressed in patch notes. Although our team works hard to keep COD updates and Trello current with the most visible issues, these channels do not reflect the full depth of work being done behind the scenes. Well, I don't care about what is being reflected of your work being done. You know what would reflect your work being done? Seeing the bugs go away, bro. Like what? Without a doubt, one of the most buggy AAA games I've ever played in my life. Without a doubt. Just like no question about it. Map and gameplay issues. Addressed visibility of dark areas and characters on Rebirth Island. This is a huge one. This is a huge one because Rebirth Island looks like complete dog shit. When you run into certain buildings and stuff, it is pitch black, bro. It was worse when it first dropped, then they kind of slightly, I think, fixed it a little bit, but like not enough to see a difference. So that obviously is a W, okay? Address players being forced to stand up while reviving downed squad members. Addressed exploits allowing players to access unintended areas of the map. Addressing parachutes deploying when jumping off ladders. That is a huge one. That is a huge glitch that's been happening since the beginning of the game. Holy shit, bro. Literally, when you are climbing up a ladder, if someone starts shooting you in the back, you might as well say, GG, I'm going to the goosh. Because if you try to jump off that ladder and save yourself, your parachute will instantly deploy, whether you click the parachute deploy button or not. You click one button to jump, and usually you would have to click it again if you want to deploy your chute. If you just click it once, it will deploy your chute right away. So again, W. Hopefully they actually fix it. Again, after everything they say, I have to keep being like, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt, because like they can say they see the issues, they can say they hear the shit, but like they just said here, like this bullshit, like they're like, this is just hilarious. Although our teams work hard to keep COD updates and Trello current with the most visible issues, these channels do not reflect the full depth of being work. Well, bro, like I said, the full depth would be fully clear if you just fixed the game regularly. That's what would prove a point. That would really prove a point. Just like, again, like lots of other games do. Weapon and equipment. Addressed weapons becoming inaccessible near interactable areas. Okay, that's good. That happens a lot. Weapons falling into buy station models. Yep, that happens a lot. Address weapon tooltips appearing as common when dropped to the ground. Perks and contracts. Address ghost persisting through the pre-match lobby into the match. That is how people... Holy bro. That's been an issue since that game came out, by the way. Again, how many times have you died to somebody or killed somebody or died to somebody in the early game? You have a UAV popped. No possible way, because Ghost doesn't drop as a ground loop perk, and it is physically impossible, would have been physically impossible for them to pop a loadout, even if they spawned in with infinite ammo and hit their loadout and get Ghost, and yet you know you popped the UAV and they still don't pop up. They finally given us the answer to why that's been happening. We knew it was happening, but apparently it's persisting through the pre-match lobby into the match. So basically anyone that had Ghost on in the pre-match lobby, some or all of those people will be ghosted going into the game. That's, wow, that's incredible. Address cold-blooded, not properly countering tracker. So that probably happens all the time and people don't even know. Address quick fix health regen, not properly activating when plating. Yes, this has been happening since the game. Address survivor, preventing players from reviving down squad members. So that is what causes you not being able to get your... Using survivor, which is a perk that's actually the most ironic shit ever. That perk is supposed to revive your teammates quicker, which it does when you are able to revive them, but sometimes I guess it breaks the ability... I didn't mean to do that, my bad. It breaks the ability to revive your teammates. That is comedy. Address most wanted contracts, not overriding respawn timers as intended. Operators. Addressed operator selection appearance issues in the menu. That has been happening quite a bit. Again, it's just every aspect of the game has a bug or two. Ranked play. In addition to the above note on the incoming crossplay options for console players, ranked play in Season 2 will see a refinement to the player amount, to the amount of SR required and adjustments to deployment fees. These updates aim to soften the on-ramp into accessing ranked play and make the top end truly competitive. As a parting thought, we want to take a moment to reflect on the significance of Black Ops 6's integration, the largest in Call of Duty's history, which for the first time has brought our teams and products together into a unified development environment. We're essentially laying a foundation to make new technology immediately available to all of our studios, improving development pipelines and the stability of porting features between titles and allowing us to focus more of our time on future releases. Thank you for your patience. All right, sweet. Communication soon. Great. Awesome. Everything they just said in this whole statement all sounds like the most incredible thing ever and can actually fix the game before Verdansk comes back. Guess what? Not a single word, not a single letter matters until they actually implement it in their games, because and I don't think it's an unfair point or stance for me to take, or any player to take, because of how many times they have said this shit and said that they have fixes and said that shit is just around the corner and they're going to fix this, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and none of it happens. Or if it happens, it is so far after they've done it that a whole new slew of fucking issues have arose, and now it's just rather. We'll see what happens.